I ain't gonna say who's on the beat, cause you should know it by now. Check it. Hey yo, music's on my mind, like my 5950, I ain't lying. Check it. Yo, this ain't a fitted song, this a get with it song.
Yo, what up?
Yo.
BTV Sports, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Yo BTV Sports Podcast, live from Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. I'm Jason Enrique. That's Ugo Boy.
It's your boy.
And we are also joined by none other than the legend himself, Mongo, from Ugo Boy Sports Talk. Show off the merch right now.
The merch is here.
Hey. You know, for a guy that he's very happy to be here, although we have nothing to be happy about after that debacle yesterday. But, you know, should we just get into it?
But first, can I get two Kevin Nashes?
Oh, yeah,
because the band
is back together. The band is back together.
Yeah, I had to.
Awesome. 862-621-9536. Call in, everybody. And also, if you are live on YouTube, check in, add comments, anything you'd like to ask us. But yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, while I guess we got to have a little bit of a therapy session while Ugo drinks this little fancy coffee that he got right there, courtesy of me. But you know what? That's my gift to you for your victory on the Cowboys against the Washington Redskins Redskins football team Commanders.
Shout out to Joe Beningo.
Yep, shout out to Joe B. As Mongo said, the guy shot a shot. I'll give him that.
Worth it.
What a disaster. Speaking of Joe Beningo, what a disgrace that this game was yesterday. I mean, I don't even know where to start. We could start in so many directions, but I just have to put this out there right now. Only the Jets, because everybody knows that there was a Thanksgiving game where we had the overhyped butt fumble, and then you had on Christmas Eve the 99-yard Victor Cruz game that we still haven't been able to recover from yet. And now on Black Friday, the very first Black Friday game in NFL history, not only do we embarrass ourselves on national TV or on Prime, as if even people have Prime, you know, the older generation has Prime at this point, but we also have another nickname of a dreaded play, and that would be, I don't know, you call it the Flail Mary or the Hail Mary instead of the Hail Mary.
CBS was very quick on the Hail Mary. Shout out to CBS. They did not mess around on trying to claim stake on that.
And apparently, I heard this on a call that as soon as halftime happened, Robert Saleh was in a commercial for Colgate or something. I didn't see it. I'm glad I didn't see it because that adds insult to injury. Because at this point, I feel like I got kicked in the teeth, ironically. Well, we got Deji in the check-in. He says the Commanders, as Stephen A. Smith says. Shout out to Carlos Villa. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here because the Jets put him out of his misery with all the drinking he did last night, so he couldn't be here. But yeah, definitely call in, guys. 862-621-9536. But yeah, Mongo, where can we go with this disaster of a game that we had yesterday?
So I don't want to sugarcoat this. Just to put this into perspective, when you win, you get an upgrade at drinking.
Yes.
The Jet game was such a disaster. You guys took away my water. I don't even get water this week. I literally don't even get to consume calories this week because it was inhuman, right? There was no need to actually eat or drink anything other than the alcohol that killed one of our guest spots. You know, there really is nowhere to go, to be quite honest, because that it's not far off from what I expected is the sad part. You know, I said at my Thanksgiving table, you know, my family knows I'm the resident Jet fan, and they said, what should we honestly expect? And I said,
oh my God.
I said, here would be a victory for me.
That's like a parent telling you that you know you're not going to make it in life. You're you. That's what you tell people that you know you're not going to be anything in life. You're you.
But they asked me, give me a prediction, and I said, honestly, I would consider it a victory at 24-0. That would have been a moral victory for me yesterday. And when you take out the pick sixes on both sides, when you take out the garbage time, TDs, really one by the Dolphins, one by the Jets, you're left at 20-0. So in a sense, yesterday was pretty much exactly what I thought it would be. And at this point, the bottom line is just the Jets have no offense. They are literally just 2/3 of a football team. And
in a league where even backup quarterbacks are able to put up 21 points and still lose a game, The Jets struggle even to put 7.
Yeah.
I mean, we scored a touchdown, a defensive touchdown at that, but we even missed the extra point. I mean, come on! It's just a microcosm of what it's like to be a Jets fan.
It is, but I mean, at the end of the day, they have no offensive line.
No.
They have wide receivers that are there only to tailor to a guy who's not playing. They have an offensive coordinator who's only there to tailor to a guy who's not playing, which, by the way, I know this doesn't happen in the NFL, but if there was ever a time to just furlough a coach, just say, here, Nathaniel Hackett, here's a bucket of gold. We will see you in 24-25.
John
no
DeFilippo
reason.
would like he would like to comment, but either way.
He said furlough. Can I get a Dom DeMarco for that?
More like a Don Lemon for that one.
This is a team that's built around a guy who is not playing, and you're getting exactly what you would expect. I mean, what I think of when I was in high school, we had a really talented, I was an underclassman, had a really talented senior group in the marching band I was in, and they just couldn't develop. They just could not get it right. They actually set the program back a little bit.
I bet you they could score touchdowns, though, unlike this team.
And the next year when we all got together for the start of the season, our assistant band director showed up with, it was a cardboard cutout of a tombstone. And it just said last year's band, and all it said as an epitaph was, could have been a contender. And that's how I feel about this Jet team. Could have been a contender, not going to be a contender.
Shoulda,
and
woulda,
next year,
coulda.
we just have to forget this year ever existed. You're coming back with Aaron Rodgers next year. There's zero reason to reinvent the wheel. At this point, just get out with no more injuries. Get out with no more historically bad plays, which is why the Hail Mary is such a disaster. Because at this point, we're just looking to forget these next 7 games, 6 games, whatever it is.
Oh, my God. What a disaster. 862-621-9536. See, I can't even talk today because I'm so despondent from yesterday. 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. But, yeah, we got some people in the check-in. We got Carlos Villa. He was, just laughing emoji. I think he's trying to laugh to prevent from crying.
Yeah.
We got Deji who says, what do you think is worse, the butt fumble or the fail Mary?
I think the Hail Mary. I like the Hail Mary better.
Yeah,
I'm big
I
on
like the Hail Mary
I think I'm on the Hail Mary.
because I feel like I'm in hell after that.
I think the butt fumble was actually funny. I actually laugh when I see that. I don't know if you guys laugh, but I laugh when I see that.
Tears came down my face, but not from laughter.
But the Hail Mary, I was watching it just in shock of what I was watching. I was like, I mean, they're gonna trip him up. Like they're gonna get him at the 30, at the 50, maybe at the 40. When I saw it was 1-on-1 Boyle, and I was like, he's scoring. He scored. So that to me I was speechless. That's when I texted both of you guys. I'm just like, no words.
Yeah, I intentionally didn't have my phone with me yesterday, and I'm glad I didn't. To me, the Hail Mary is a little bit better. And honestly, anything that happens these next 6 games is a little better because we know that this offense has to play like when someone new is playing Madden against somebody who knows what they're doing. Like, I have to play with reckless abandon because if the Jets just try to be a normal offense, they're not going to score points. We see that. So if they try literally Hail Marys and they fail, we obviously don't want them to fail that bad, but I don't blame, if the Jets try a quadruple reverse and it leads right into a safety next week, okay, well, that's where we're at with this offense. We're at page Z of the textbook. So I don't blame them for anything that happened.
That's a savage.
Exactly where we're at.
So I mean, I had texted you, Mongo, earlier on. I like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I had texted you earlier in the week. It's Tim Boyle time. And I think you had texted me back something along the lines of
more like seafood boil.
He said basically he has his his real uniform should be a Target uniform or something like that. That's a savage.
I had to Google it. I thought Tim Boyle was the name of the guy who hosted Chopped. I genuinely thought when you said it was Tim Boyle time, I genuinely thought they were bringing back Chopped.
As a savage.
Savage.
Chopped is a good show, by the way.
And honestly, if next Sunday you told me I can either watch a 6-hour Chopped marathon or I could watch the Jets and Giants back to back, there is no doubt I'm turning on Bravo for 6 hours.
Yeah, it's another savage.
We're at that point.
Mongo woke up and chose violence, and I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it.
862-621-9536 is the number to call in. So Deji in the check-in says Hackett's playbook is from Madden 5.
That's a savage. Good job, Deji.
That's insulting to Madden 5.
I mean, at this point, I don't know what to call him, Nathaniel Hackett or Paul Hackett, because neither one is no change. It's the same thing essentially. I mean, because Paul Hackett was an abysmal coach back then, and now Nathaniel Hackett, it seems like it's history repeating.
They had it right when he was goofing up plays in Denver. It's can't Hackett. I mean, if nothing else,
Get a savage for that one.
They break the record today. That's
the
right.
hardest part of this week by far, because again, I don't think anyone. Bravo if you're a Jet fan who genuinely thought we had a chance yesterday. Bravo to you. We didn't. The hardest part of this week was watching Denver have that comeback against the Vikings last week, because that was a reminder. They don't win that game if Nathaniel Hackett is still their head coach.
Oh, no.
Not a chance.
Absolutely not.
And it's a reminder of the favor we did to Denver by taking him off the board.
And isn't it also crazy how the NFL is like? We're on a 4-game losing streak now, and I still think to myself, how the heck did we lose? I mean, how the heck did we beat the Eagles? Like, how is it that the only loss that the Eagles has this season is against the Jets? I mean, if it was actually status quo, they'd be undefeated right now.
Well, your defense led the way. You guys beat up Hurts that game. You forced 4 turnovers, I believe, 3 interceptions, and a fumble recovery.
That's correct.
So your defense led the way. Let's not fool ourselves and think that Hackett led the way with the offense.
That was all brick and solid right there.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think what you're seeing. This is my issue with Hackett. It's like, I don't see the plan. I don't have a feel for like what he's trying to do. And I posed this question when Wilson, before he was benched for the 3rd time, when he was still the starter.
By the way, not to mention, last year was the exact same thing. He got benched in November of last year, and now he got benched again in November of this year.
Yeah, so
in the 3rd string, not even a regular backup. He was an emergency quarterback. For this game.
So he's been benched for, I forgot what I was watching. I saw the rundown. No, it was Nick Wright he was talking about. He like mapped it out.
Like Nick Wrong.
He's been right. He's been good this year. He hasn't been. He's not been the clownish this year.
Well, he's no Colin Cowherd.
No, he's not clown herd. Like, he's not. So shout out to Nick Wright. He's been doing God's work this year. But no, so Zach Wilson's been benched for Mike White, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Who was the second time?
It was Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
And then Chris Streveler.
Chris Streveler, that combination right there. And last but not least, for Tim Boyle. So
and also we had Josh Johnson.
Can't forget.
Yeah. So you guys are you guys completely out on Zach Wilson? Is there any
I've been out on Zach Wilson. I mentioned this. I'm
trolling. I couldn't help it.
Oh my God.
I get savage.
Oh my God. I wish I had a turkey leg right now and just shove it in your mouth so you could shut up right now.
That's a pause right there.
Shout out to me. Shout out to Cam. It is what it is.
For sure.
I do need to say, though, we can now agree. I think we can now agree it's not 100% Zach Wilson. I think after seeing yesterday, we can mathematically conclude it's not 100% him. And I said it last time I was on the show.
I'd say that's a good 85%.
Oh, it's a good chunk.
Because let's not forget, in his rookie season, or the last 2 seasons, you had Joe Flacco, you had Mike White, you had Chris Streveler, you had Josh Johnson. They were all under Mike LaFleur's system, and they all were able to put up like 300 yardage or whatever. Their stats was significantly better than what Zach Wilson has made it to put in the last 3 seasons. So, I think he has to own a big portion of his play. Not all of it, but definitely a big portion of it.
I think Joe. No, go ahead. Sorry.
But just to put into perspective, that play that Tim Boyle had yesterday when he was in the end zone, and it initially looks like it might be intentional grounding. It's just, it looks like it's going to be a safety.
Unbelievable play, by the way.
First of all, Zach Wilson probably takes the safety there.
Oh,
and it's that kind of thing. But second of all,
or throw an interception.
Right.
Yeah.
But even if Zach has that exact same play, you know for a fact that major markets are putting circus music behind that and talking about same old Zach. We're commending Tim Boyle on a play like that, whereas Zach Wilson will always be criticized for the bad side of a play, which is he almost took a safety. And at this point, if there is, to answer your question directly, am I out on Zach Wilson? I'm going to change the question slightly. Am I out on Zach Wilson being able to handle New York or getting a fair shake ever again in New York? Not a chance. He's got to get out of here.
Absolutely.
Could I see a world where in 2025 he comes in as an emergency backup for the Titans and beats like the Texans in a Week 10 game? Yeah, I do think I'm not completely unsold on the idea that Zach Wilson wins an NFL game again at some point in the future. I'll give him that tiny ray of hope.
Well, Carlos Villa in the check-in says duck Zach. Now, I think he meant to say the F word, but luckily we're on live right now, so we're not going to use that. So it's perfect. Duck Zach. Yeah. Sure. Steve also says, so the Giants, although I like that dude from Oregon.
Yeah, he's talking about Bo Nix. Shout out to the Wild Thing, by the
Wild
way.
Thing.
I don't think they're gonna
Shout out to the Wild
I
Thing.
don't think they're gonna go for Bo Nix. It's the wrong color.
Well, Bo Nix. No. You're thinking of Michael Penix.
There you go. Sorry,
Michael Penix is of the melanin. Bo Nix, he's right in line with the type of quarterback that the Giants like. But then again, Mara still loves Daniel Jones. You know, and until I see them actually take a quarterback, I don't know. But I think Bo Nix would fit very nicely. He looks like a Dable guy, somebody that I think that Dable could come in, see some Josh Allen traits, big arm, athletic, can make all the throws, comes from a real high octane offense at Oregon. Mm-hmm. So I see it. I'm not, of all the quarterback prospects, he's one of my favorites. I'm not a big fan of Drake May. I see Sam Howell, Daniel Jones 2.0. That's what I see. So I'm not a big fan of that. And with Penix, I think if he went to the Rams, honestly, Sean McVay would love a prospect like that. So, and Caleb Williams, we all know he's going to the Bears.
That was Carolinist right there. You just lumped all the North Carolina quarterbacks together as one generic human.
I got it in. Sorry.
862-621-9536. The phone lines are open right now, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I mean, now we're going into the part of the Jets season where, listen, I don't think they're going to get rid of Saleh. I don't think they're going to get rid of Hackett. I think Joe Douglas is unfortunately going to stay, even though he's like on really, really thin ice with me right now, especially with the whole, not just with them. Oh, we got a caller right now. Yes, all right. Who do we have?
It's DJ.
Oh, Deji.
Deji.
Round of applause. We got
Deji in
Deji.
South Jersey. Is that where you're from, South Jersey, Deji?
Deji, you're like in Cherry Hill, aren't you?
Yep.
Yep, Cherry Hill.
All right, so Deji from Cherry Hill. All right, so what is your question, Deji? What are your
My
comments?
brother, my Niger brother.
See, it's not even a question. Here's the thing. You know what this season reminds me of? You remember the Spider-Man movie? The Spider-Man meme with them looking at each other?
The Giants and Jets with the Spider-Man meme. As a savage for Deji.
Oh my God! What a disaster.
Deji, so we posed the question: out of the Hail Mary and the butt fumble, what do you think personally? What do you think it was the more egregious play, or that's going to be more memorable for football fans around the world?
So see, I'm not even a Jets fan. So from all my Jets brothers, I think the butt fumble is pretty much number one right now.
So
for me,
butt fumble.
Yeah, the butt fumble for sure.
Well, due to the fact that it was like. I think it would have to be for the butt fumble because the fact of the matter is I think that the butt fumble will always be talked about compared to the Hail Mary. I mean, the Hail Mary, I mean, it's terrible and it would only happen to the Jets, but it's not as egregious as running into your own offensive lineman and fumbling the ball only for them to score a touchdown on the other direction.
Stupid.
And also, I mean, we actually would expect that from a not so great NFL quarterback in Tim Boyle, whereas Mark Sanchez was at least a starting caliber quarterback.
First rounder.
Yeah, what's that?
First rounder.
First rounder. And he did get us to the AFC Championship back to back in 2009, 2010. So that gets him a little bit, but that also leaves a bigger mark on him. And it's just it really stinks that. After all this time, I mean, he's bouncing around to a couple of teams. He was in Chicago, he was in Philly, he was in Denver. I forget where else. But like it always that never seems to go away. Oh, and the Commanders at one point, he was with the Commanders.
The Commanders.
Yeah,
he was a Cowboy too.
He was a Cowboy too.
Unfortunately,
a practice squad member.
Yeah, I think he played in the game.
I think. Oh, okay, all right, yes. But anyway, no. But that has never been able to go away from. That's like I forget the name of the player. You guys might remember. It was he played for Seattle. Oh, it was Hasselbeck.
Yeah, Matt Hasselbeck.
When he guaranteed like we're gonna get the ball, we're gonna score, and then he throws a pick six
to Al Harris.
Yeah,
defensive back coach for the Cowboys. Deji,
it always comes back to the Cowboys.
Always comes back to America's team. Deji, real quick, what's your question before we get you out of here?
Yeah, I got a question for you. So, I mean, now that the Giants and the Jets are basically picking top five, who do you think the Jets are going? You think they got Caleb Williams or what?
Well, here's the thing. Let me answer that real quick, and then I'll let Mongo and Ugo go in. Well, obviously, we all know that Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year. So whoever they draft is going to have a redshirt year, which I actually am not opposed to, because we saw with Patrick Mahomes with, when Alex Smith played his rookie year, and it was just a redshirt year for Patrick Mahomes, and he got to learn the playbook and learn the system, and he was in that great culture and everything. Now, not saying that the Jets have a great culture as that, but I do like that dynamic, so to speak. I do like the idea of them drafting a quarterback and having sit behind Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and then learn from him, and then we'll see we'll go from there. But I know that the Jets right now, as currently constituted, that they're picking 8th. I feel like you have to take a quarterback, especially Joe Douglas, because he has to wash off the stink of Zach Wilson, because that is a huge mark on his resume of picking him number 2 overall in the draft, and they clearly whiffed on it. I mean, clearly Zach Wilson is not an NFL quarterback. I think he's not even qualified for Canadian football at this point. He's just let him play Madden. Let him play Madden.
We said XFL. I said XFL maybe.
That's a huge maybe. That's a huge maybe. I mean, if Christian Hackenberg could have hacked it in there, what makes you think Zach Wilson could have? But I think they definitely have to go a quarterback, and they have to really Joe Douglas really needs to do better on picking offensive linemen, because I'll give to his credit, he's been trying to get offensive linemen, whether it's free agent signings or drafting them, but they just haven't really panned out. I mean, Joe Tippmann looked like he could be a really legitimate starter in the NFL. Max Mitchell doesn't look like he's going to be anything, maybe just a quality backup, if that. Mekhi Becton hasn't worked out. I mean, I do like his talent, but he's just so injury prone. But yeah, and also, Garrett Wilson just can't be your only wide receiver. I understand he's your number 1 receiver, but he can't be your only receiver. I mean, Alan Lazard has been a shell of himself. Randall Cobb is not doing anything. We were depending on Corey Davis, but he retired. But I don't know how much Corey Davis would have done us.
I forgot about that. Corey Davis saw the writing on the wall. He's like, you know what? Like the SpongeBob meme, I'm gonna head out.
But yeah, no, that's where I'm at. They definitely have to get a quarterback, but they also have to do something basically a whole grocery shopping for the entire offensive side of the football. And I'll let you guys take it over now. Yeah,
you definitely start. You have the end there is correct. You start by, I wouldn't even bother drafting a defensive player. If you have 7 picks, 8 picks, whatever you end up with.
You arguably wasted one already with Will McDonald.
Yeah, who looked great in the one play I saw him play in this season yesterday. That was exciting.
That was interesting.
But to me, especially if the kid from Penn State is there, you got to go offensive tackle to me.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because in 2025, this team is going to basically be gutted, because when Rodgers leaves, you no longer really have a need for Lazard. Cobb's going to probably retire with Rodgers. And what's starting to worry me, and I know this goes well beyond the question asked, great question from the caller, by the way, thank you. When you watch Garrett Wilson at these games, he seems to be the most popular guy in the league. He knows everybody. Everyone's joking with him. He's joking with everybody. And I'm genuinely not fully convinced he signs his first big boy contract with the Jets. And so if you want to have any chance of keeping Garrett Wilson, you need this team to look as healthy as possible in 2025. And most people's definition of a healthy football team is a team that at the very least can win in the trenches. Mm-hmm. And so if you have a first-round offensive tackle who pans out, if Vera Tucker can get right, if Tippmann looks like the real thing, I kind of like Carter Warren over at right tackle. If you have a healthy O-line in 2025, I think that's more convincing for all these young guys you're going to have to resign, because you're absolutely right. The talent on this team in 2025, once Rodgers retires and his receiving core and his buddies go with him, is going to be weak.
Yeah.
See, I disagree with what you're saying. I totally disagree. If I were the GM, you know what I would do? I'm getting the quarterback. I'm going to go in the second round, get a couple of offensive linemen.
Cool. Yeah, Deji, we have to. Yeah, go ahead, Deji. Wrap real quick.
I'm just saying, just get the O-line. Don't waste the offensive lineman. Like, don't get one in the first round. There's plenty in the second, and then just build from there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just statistical gambling at this point. I'd love to say that the problem is they've always missed in rounds 2 through 7, but they've also missed in round 1. So I will take the hit there. They've just tried less in round 1. But generally, when you look at the history of the Jets, their top 10 picks, minus Zach Wilson, are generally better than when you get deeper into the draft, especially the last 10 years. So I'm a little more willing to say if we can get a stud offensive tackle in the top 10, top 5, whatever, I feel better about that than guessing on one in the middle rounds where we seem to almost always miss on everything.
Your best bet is to take an offensive lineman early, or if a quarterback, if you guys really tailspin or whatnot, and then trade back in and double down and get another offensive piece, whether it's another offensive lineman or the quarterback you didn't get with the first pick. That's what I would do, because look what Houston did. I mean, I mentioned it last week. Houston going back to back and getting their quarterback of the future and defensive end of the future. Boom, boom, and look at them. They're more than likely they're headed to the playoffs this year. You know, they're a year ahead of schedule, and the turnaround could be that quickly if you've got the right young talent infused with the right coaching. So you guys need to be picking twice in the first round. That's your best bet.
The last thing on this, because I don't want to get to other callers. This was a pick we didn't plan on having. Assuming that, remember, this was originally a pick that was eligible to go in the trade.
Yeah.
Assuming that there is an actual 5-year growth plan, because this is a business at the end of the day.
Right.
This should be a pick that they didn't have to initially rely on once upon a time, meaning that there is a sense of house money to this pick, and a quarterback is the ultimate definition of house money. So I certainly wouldn't be mad at them if they swung for the fences with this pick, knowing that it was one they couldn't originally guarantee they'd even have.
Right. 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. So we thank you very much for the call, Deji. We really appreciate it. We're going to get into the Cowboys a little bit.
It's okay. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here for support, guys.
Right.
I love you guys. I care about you guys.
Right. I know that there's some Dolphin fans out there that definitely want to call in. So, you already know the number, 862-621-9536. If you want to talk your ish, go right ahead. Let's get this out of the way. And here we are. Let's go to Carlos in Miami.
Hello.
Carlos, Mr. Los, get down, Bobby.
Man, I wanted to be out there live today, but the Jets just got me in my feels.
So this is so wrong. I apologize. This is not Carlos in Miami. This is Carlos in Clifton. My bad.
That's a step down.
A little bit.
It's Clifton.
And suffering Jets fan. I guarantee you that there was somebody in the stands watching the game that was a better quarterback than anybody on the Jets roster.
That's a savage. Get him coming. Keep it coming.
It was pretty awful.
Savage.
And just to touch back on the whole butt fumble thing, I was there live at that game.
Oh no!
Oh no!
In 4K.
Oh, what a disaster! Let me get a Don Lemon for that one, please.
Thinking back, I think the Jets owe me compensation from all the trauma. I remember being so excited leaving the Thanksgiving dinner with the family with my wife. We were in the Tiffany suite. I got hooked up from my old job.
Oh, God.
And, man, I really thought I was, living in a nightmare. Like, did this guy just run into the center's ass and fumble the ball? Jeez.
Oh, my God. Oh, that is
brutal. Yesterday was brutal. I had some expectations. I'm like, you know what? Why not? What if this kid Tim Boyle comes in and wins? The defense wins and we just barely beat them. And what if Aaron Rodgers comes back and we make a push for the playoffs? And what if we just go on a crazy tear? But man, Tim Boyle sucks.
That's a savage right there. That's what we suck. That's what we suck too. That's what we suck.
Yeah.
The kid is terrible. I mean, has he ever
Shout out to Torts.
Listen,
He's
man.
never won anything in college, high school. Like, how is he in the NFL?
That's real quick. My point. So Tim Boyle had mentioned that he was trash. Can I get 5 trashes? Because Lord have mercy. He was trash in college. So typically, this is how it typically goes. If you can't play at the Division I or Division II level, what do you think is going to happen when you get to the NFL? I mean, he had a good pro day. I'm pretty sure that's how he got on with the Packers. And because I was listening to the story before the game when they were doing like the behind the scenes, and he was just like, "Yeah, I had a good pro day, and Packers like me."
Now I have to ask you this, Carlos, because you're the only Jet fan that's able to do this, and it's kind of egregious. Have you burned your Zach Wilson jersey yet?
Not yet, man.
What are you waiting for?
You're not letting go?
So I have burned jerseys in the past, but this one I think I'm going to steal his name off. I'm gonna peel his name off that nameplate, and I don't know. I might put my own last name on that jersey. But yeah, last jersey I burned was Darrell Revis when he went to the.
Oh man,
That's some savages.
yeah.
Get
All
a
right,
couple
well,
savages
Carlos,
there.
thank you for the call, man. We got to get to the other calls, man. But thank you for calling
sure,
in. I
man.
can't wait to see you, on the show again. But yeah, so. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I burned a jersey. I don't think I ever burned a jersey. I was this close to doing with Sanchez after the Buffalo, ironically.
My takeaway from that call, and I'll talk about the jersey in a second, if you genuinely thought that, if you at 3 p.m. Friday genuinely thought that this team had a chance yesterday, the turkey was not the only thing you smoked this weekend.
Oh, definitely get a savage. Let's get 10 savages. A Ric Flair.
Savage.
A Ric Flair.
I respect Carlos. I like him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
How could you have any expectation yesterday?
Well, we got another call. The calls are flying in
let's
today.
Let's go to Carlos in Miami. Carlos.
Hey, other Carlos. All right.
Another Carlos.
Hi, Jay.
Oh my God. Okay, lift it up and show it to me. What do you got? You rub it in. Rub it in,
man.
brother. Rub it in.
All right. Well, I can't. How'd you know I was coming with a Jets question, brother? Hey,
It's
listen,
the only
man.
thing you got to live
All right,
for,
so
bro, at this point.
He sounds like Vince
It is
McMahon
the
laughing
only thing
at
I
you
have
right
to
now.
live
That's
for, but
terrible.
at least at this point, my Red Sox are doing all right now. Hey,
Enjoy the
so
bottom
my
of
question for
of the East, bro.
listen, we're doing just about as bad as the Yankees are.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
can't.
a win.
Yeah, let's get a
So,
savage for that
let
one
me
too.
ask you, man.
Savage.
So, without Aaron Rodgers there, like, what's the outcome for this year? What are you guys thinking? Do you think he's going to come back next year, and play at 100%? What do you guys got on that?
I think he has no choice but to. I mean, he's already, putting out these videos about how he's already coming back from the Achilles faster than usual with science, and I don't know what kind of, mushrooms he's smoking or whatever at this point, but ayahuasca. There you go. Yeah, he's going to be the next sponsor for ayahuasca when it comes legalized. But no, he's already showing signs. They say that now it's after Thanksgiving. He said that he's going to come back in practice. They're not going to put him in right away. Robert Saleh already announced that Tim Boyle is the starting quarterback for the Falcons game next Sunday. And but I personally, as much as I know that Aaron Rodgers wants to play this season, he wants to come back. I have to put the veto on it and be like, no, you rest up, you heal 100%. You still we appreciate the fire and the desire that you have in your belly to play for this team and play football, but we're just not going anywhere this season. If it was a situation where we still had a chance to be in the playoffs, then we would think maybe, but we have no shot of going to the playoffs. It's going to be 13 years now since the playoffs. The longest drought in NFL right now with the playoffs. So I would just say no. But I think that, to answer your question fully, I think he's going to be fully motivated. He's already fully motivated to come back. So next year, it's all about Rodgers. And like I alluded to before, we got to draft a quarterback and let him have a redshirt year, unless, God forbid, he gets injured again.
So can I bonus question that really quick?
Of course.
Sure.
So do you think Salah's in any kind of hot seat if it keeps going bad? Like worse than what it is?
Not this season. Not this season.
No, and what sucks for you guys too, because I know how much you guys love Hackett. If Rodgers comes back, Hackett's gonna listen. Can I get the band is back together? they're keeping the band together. Cobb is gonna put off retirement for another year. Hackett's coming back because that's Rodgers' guy, and Rodgers is coming back. So it's kind of I hate the parallels to the Yankees, but it's very, very eerily similar to the fact that Rizzo's gonna be at first base next year. Stan's gonna be here in the outfield again. He's
Timeless.
DJ Malay.
Are they gonna call Jordy Nelson back from retirement too while they're at it?
Oh my God.
Well, also Devontae Adams is definitely going to be a Jet next year.
Yep, he's on the board.
He might be.
Well,
he very well might be. It's possible.
I guess my last thing that I did want to ask. So just because I haven't had a chance to talk to you, Jay, the Yankees, bro. What's up with Boone? Why is he still there? What do we got to do? We got to show up, break some kneecaps. How do we get him out of there?
We have to go full Dan Campbell at this point right now. The Tigers biting off the kneecaps and everything. Listen, I've alluded to before. Hugo's alluded to before. I haven't talked to Mongo about this too much, but I'm pretty sure that he's pretty in lockstep with us that we are not Boone fans. We are not Cashman fans.
No.
And listen, you can fire Boone. I'm fine with that. But the fact of the matter is Brian Cashman is still there. So even if they fire Boone, but they keep Cashman, they're just going to get another Boone 2.0. The real culprit here to me is Brian Cashman, because he's the one that he brought the groceries, and he got the wrong chef to cook it. That's how I put it. And it's just, and also the analytics are just driving me crazy. I mean, ever since Billy Bean and Moneyball and everybody thinks that they're the smartest guy in the room. And I thought it was ridiculous how Brian Cashman said a couple of weeks ago how we have the smallest analytics department in the entire division. Like, well, bro, we're not worried about the size of the analytics department. We're worried about how much you are living like it's the Bible by these analytics. That's the biggest problem. You could have the biggest analytics department, you could have the smallest one, but it's like, how much are you dedicated to the analytics? I don't care about the size of your offices. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Well, hey, at least both sides can look in the mirror and say both teams, Red Sox and Yankees have a lot of work.
We're Spider-Man memeing. We're Spider-Man memeing it up, like the Yankees and Red Sox. We're Spider-Man memeing it up, man. Both are not in a good place right now.
All right. Well, anyways, Carlos, enjoy this victory. Thank you for calling in. Even though you're a Red Sox fan and a Dolphin fan, I still love you, man. When I come to you in Florida, I'm gonna kiss you on the cheek. All right.
It's always hugs, my brother. Love you guys.
I love you too, bro. All right. Well, thank you, Carlos, for calling in. You have something to say, Mark?
Yeah, real quick about Aaron Boone to bring it back over to the Jets.
Yeah.
The thing about Aaron Boone is part of the reason he still has a job is because he's given us no reason to not let him have a job. You think of like when Joe Judge basically talked himself out of New York with that famous speech.
After that speech against the Commanders.
Or the Jet coach with the shifty eyes. Who's
that? Chasing the taco?
Yeah, as soon as the shifty eyes came out, we were like, okay, he could go. Adam Gase, that's right, thank you. And,
just the name makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, I chose not to remember that name. But when you look at like Aaron Boone, he's just there, minding his own business. And when Robert Saleh at halftime yesterday, they ask him about the Hail Mary, and he just goes, it happens. At this point, that's pretty much what Robert Saleh needs to do.
Yeah, it happens.
He said that.
That has literally happened 0 times in the history of the NFL.
You're starting an offensive line made entirely of day 3 rookies. It happens. Like at this point, he accepts the fact that this year has gotten away from him, and that's not a terrible approach to this year at this point. Because to the caller's original point, I'm okay if we just pack it in, take 4-13, and end up with a top 5 draft pick. I'm not mad at that.
862-621-9536 is the number to call in. We got King Sensei 7 in the check, and he says
that's my brother. That's King. Round of applause.
And of course, he has to ask a 49er question. Is Brock Purdy the best QB in the NFC?
Oh my God!
But Desi says maybe the best system QB.
Can I take this, and then I'm gonna pass this to Mongo?
Yes.
Mongo loves himself some Brock Purdy.
And we got to get into the Cowboys, obviously, because I know that you've been enjoying that delicious drink, and now you got to.
It's okay. Listen, take your time. I'm here. I got all the time in the world.
862-621-9536 is the number to call. And we have another caller.
Yes, so I'll hold that thought.
So who are we going to next?
Who's here?
Hello?
Anybody there?
What's going on, Jason?
Hey, what's going on? Kenny from Staten Island is in the building.
Hey.
What's going on, Kenny? How's everything?
Thank God I had my Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday before watching that disgusting mess yesterday.
Oh, man.
Really, it's getting... You know what? It's getting to the point where it's not even fun going to these games no more. It's like,
and you're a season ticket holder, am I right?
42 years.
Oh my God!
And they just
long suffering.
And they had the audacity. They had the audacity to want to collect my money 2 weeks ago. And next year,
that's another clown of the week that I had for Woody Johnson a couple weeks ago. Like, how dare you?
Can I get some diamonds? Can I get diamonds in forever for that?
Forever. How do you collect the money up front for this product? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, also, Kenny, I follow you obviously on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, Twix at this point. That's what we call it over here at Bravery Studios, live from Garfield, New Jersey. So it seems like there's a mixed bag out there with Jet fans. Now, I'm personally not blaming Salah for everything that's going on. I don't think Mongo is either. But based on what your tweets and whatever, and I guess I'll ask you now that I have you on the phone, what are your thoughts on Salah? Like, are you completely done with him, or do you think that he deserves one more year with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I'm still teetering, but, obviously yesterday I put some tweets out there that they should get rid of a clean house for everybody. But you know what? Give them one more shot with Rodgers. But what I want them to do is April draft a quarterback.
Yeah, we said that.
And let him sit behind Rodgers for 1 year. I don't want because Rodgers is done. After next year, he's done.
I agree.
You know, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But I want to get one of these quarterbacks coming out because we're going to draft. I don't think we're winning another game this year. I don't see it. When you cannot score touchdowns in the NFL, I don't care who you're playing. The only way they would win a game is if they played themselves.
Well, also,
that's a savage.
Yeah, well,
That's
also,
savage.
I do believe you there, Kenny. But I also think because this is very Belichickian and very Jetsian, if Bill Belichick obviously he just decides to let this game by and actually let the Jets win just so he could screw our draft order in trying to get a quarterback.
That's next. Like next gen stats. That's next gen trolling right there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, he will. He'll do it depending on that game. And it could basically the Jets could wind up winning that game 3-0. It could wind up. Yeah, Bill's going to go out of his way to screw the Jets, 100%. You know what? I never thought of that, but now last game of the year, and if it's for seeding, it's so Jet-like where we finally beat the Patriots, but we just lost out on.
Yes. I mean, it's Trevor Lawrence all over again. All we had to do was take the season, and we could have Trevor Lawrence. Instead, we got Zach Wilson. Life of a Jets fan. Well, Kenny, before we let you go, I don't know if Mongo has anything to ask or anything, but we definitely got to get you on the show. First and foremost, I got to say thank you for always being a supporter of First Class, Second Place. I remember when you were on the show very early on when it was audio only. You've always shown me love and respect. You definitely helped me out with Joe Beningo, and Joe Beningo has been an integral part of everything that we've been doing here as well. But I think that I would be remiss if I didn't give you your flowers for being the guy behind the scenes that let that happen. And needless to say, I want you on the show. I would love to have you on the show one of these days if you're available on Saturdays from 10 to 2 p.m. here at Garfield, New Jersey. You always have an open invitation here, brother.
Yeah, man.
Listen, we'll definitely pick a few dates. You let me know a few dates, and I'll let you know what works for me. It'll be my pleasure to come on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have anything, Mongo, for Kenny by any chance, or Ugo?
Yeah, Kenny, and you can answer this as well. My only thing is if you're going quarterback in the first round, where are you going at left tackle? Are you thinking that Joe Douglas can finally find a day two offensive tackle who's competent? I know you said trade in. You already gave your answer.
I said trade up.
My concern is if you try to buy an offensive line next year, unless you can find enough offensive linemen who will sign on for 1 year just for the chance to block for Aaron Rodgers, you have a lot of young kids that you need to pay real quick right after next season. If you lock up money into an offensive line for 1 year to protect Aaron Rodgers, and that ends up screwing you out of being able to sign Sauce Gardner, who to me really has a I'm taking the highest bidder style vibe to him.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
That's my only concern. So what's your plan? What's your plan at left tackle if you're taking a quarterback at like say 7th overall?
Basically, you better hit with the rest of your picks in the later rounds. That's the only alternative. Because what the hell's the sense of having a left tackle if you don't have a quarterback? That's my theory. But no, you got to draft a quarterback. This is the biggest crop coming out in a long time. You have to get one of them, and hopefully in the later rounds you will get a tackle. Because like quarterbacks, a lot of number one picks that are high, guarded offensive linemen, they're busts. Look at the Giants. They can tell you that. So I got to go quarterback. We haven't had a quarterback in here consistently since Joe Namath. We've never replaced Joe Namath. Mark Sanchez gave us a great run. He's very underrated, I think, when it comes to Jets quarterbacks. Very underrated. But how would Mark Sanchez look on this team with this?
Oh God,
he looked good.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, I would take him. I'll even pay him to get out of the booth and come in for a couple of games at this point.
Behind that offensive line, though.
Right. He did have DeBerkershaw and Mangold. You do have to remember that.
That is true. Yeah.
True. But I know it's been mentioned. But and how about when we drafted Zach Wilson? What would have happened if we traded out of that pick and got a boatload of picks and stuck with Sam?
Yeah,
Sam was a light years better than what Wilson is doing. Donald showed that he could throw the ball downfield.
Well, I'm actually in lockstep with you right there, Kenny, because I actually love that idea initially when they thought about that, when they brought in Saleh and he was the head coach and everything when they came in, and Joe Douglas was leading the charge. I actually like that idea because I actually did like Sam Darnold. Now, obviously, he didn't pan out to the quarterback that we all thought he was going to be, but I think that there was just so many circumstances that stunted his growth and development as a quarterback in this league. I think he had the tools and he had the talent and everything. It just never got properly developed because obviously we had to get a fired Dolphins head coach to replace our head coach at the time, and he just wasn't developed properly, and then it was just a mess. And
no weapons.
No weapons at all.
No weapons.
Yeah, so
he was good that first year. He played well. Remember that game against the Packers, the game against the Texans, against the Deshaun Watson. He put numbers up.
And even his rookie, his very first game, even though he threw a pick six as his very first play, they scored a lot of points in that game, and they still won.
Yeah, Detroit.
Yeah, exactly.
Monday night game. I was in the building.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's no surprise. I mean, you travel with this team. I'm surprised that they don't give you a first class pass at this point, Kenny.
He's a real one, man.
I do get a few perks, but
okay.
Yeah, but listen, it's all about winning games, and this franchise hasn't done it now in 13 years.
Yeah, Carlos.
And watching this, and I put a tweet out there. I'm 60 years old. Maybe some guys can relate to this. I put a tweet out there that the Jets' offense is like that old Coleco football vibrating game. I'm not sure how far back you guys go, but that's what their offense is like. So
right.
It's painful to watch. It really is.
That's a delayed savage. I like it. But thank you so much for the call, man.
Thank you so much.
Hey, listen, guys, speak soon. Definitely, I'll definitely, like I said, I'll check my calendar. Definitely do Saturday with you guys.
Absolutely.
Not a problem.
Absolutely. And anybody, if you guys have Twitter or X or Twix, if you want to call it, you can follow Kenny at Ken's SCARA1 on Twitter, Twix, whatever you want to call it. He's a fantastic fan, one of the best Twitter people out there. Definitely check out his content. And shout out to the Jet Lounge. Shout out to the Jet Lounge. Absolutely.
Round of applause for Kenny.
Yes, yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you very much, Kenny. All right. So, wow, that was a great call. 862-621-9536. So I guess let's transition to some, get out of this negative Nancy vibes that we're in right now. You got to shake it off. We got to cleanse. And now we go into something that's actually great to brag about. And you're also rocking the shirt right now.
I'm rocking the Zeke. Let me get a high about them Cowboys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Hey, can I get a Ric Flair? You might not like it. Give me that. You might not like it.
Whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it because it is the best thing going today.
Woo! 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 And a woo. Give me a Ric Flair woo too, man.
Yeah. Big shout out to all the people that didn't call you or text you.
Yeah, exactly. Now, see, this show's gonna look very different after a Cowboy loss. The next Cowboy loss, we might not get through the show because the trolling's gonna be next level. We might have to go to a third hour. But let's.
I might need one of those fancy coffees that you got right
exactly.
there.
There might be something stiff in there. You know what I mean? But yeah. So here we go again. Right on brand. Can I get a round of applause for a lot of people? First one's for Mike McCarthy. Round of applause for Mike McCarthy. Round of applause for Rain Dakota Prescott. First of his name.
And you can't forget Bland, bro.
And Derod Bland, of course. Derod Bland, a round of applause for the Defensive Player of the Year. It's coming. It's coming. Standing O. Now he's getting a standing O.
Oh.
So
Desi says all the Giant fans are trolling at this point.
Let them keep trolling. Just shut up, enjoy, and watch the show, man.
Shut up and eat your chicken parm.
No, so you know what? I brought a prop here. I brought cranberry sauce. Marv, you can actually keep this, but I brought this because this is sauce. This cranberry sauce is for all you haters. All right?
Oh.
All you haters. This is all you're getting. All you're getting is canned cranberry sauce. Yes. And another one. Give me another one. You've been doing a whole lot of this, my camera. You've been doing a lot of talking, you Cowboy haters, you bums, man. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Dallas Go Boy told, like I said, he told me he's showing up post the Cowboy Eagle game in 2 weeks. So if the Cowboys pull that out, you're gonna see glasses, you're gonna see the belt, you're gonna see a CeeDee Lamb jersey, which is in the mail. It'll be here this week.
Nice.
I got the Black Friday deal on Fanatics. You're gonna see all types of foolishness if the Cowboys avenge and beat the Philadelphia E-Girls. At AT&T Stadium. But this is all you haters get because, oh my goodness. Can we, one more round of applause for the soon-to-be most valuable player of the league, Rain Dakota Prescott. First of his name. And you know I love stats.
Yeah.
You know I love.
You got receipts?
You know I love
You got
stats.
receipts?
You know I love stats.
Oh.
What do you got for me?
I decided to pull up some stats just for this occasion.
And before you do, let's get a Don DeMarco for Ugo right now.
Let me get a Don DeMarco for myself. And let me get a tell me when I'm telling lies. Because it's about that time, buddy. To keep that same energy.
The floor is yours.
And this episode of Keep That Same Energy is brought to you by Ocean Spray Cranberry Sauce. It is brought to you by First Class Second Place Podcast, streaming on all digital platforms.
Yes, indeed.
Wherever you get your podcast. You Go Boy Podcast, Sports Talk with me and Mongo. That's coming back soon. We're going to have you on as our next guest with Carlos. Big Yahtzee's there. Yeah. New episodes on the way. And it's brought to you by the Dallas Cowboys. Out the Cowboys. So,
Will McClay, you are my hero.
Will McClay, this bud's for you. All right, so and a quick precursor because a past clown of the week and a future back-to-back clown of the week, Dan Orlovsky, had the audacity to say that Jalen Hurts is the best.
0-16 Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, Mr. Run out of the back of the end zone. Got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest.
Savage.
Yeah, you read my mind. Thank you.
Exactly. So, can I get a tell me when I'm telling lies, please?
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
This guy Orlovsky said that Jalen Hurts is playing the best quarterback play in the NFC right now, the best quarterback. Now, the numbers would suggest that he's a clown and he's wrong. And let's go to the numbers. So, currently, total QBR. The best QBR in the NFC actually belongs to Brock Purdy at 76, Dak Prescott at 75, Jalen Hurts at 64. So I think, I don't know about you guys, I think you're a math teacher, right? 75 is more than 64. So let's keep going. Completion percentage. Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy, they're tied at 70. Jalen Hurts is at 69. Now, I think 70 is more than 69, too. I'm just saying.
That would be true.
Just round it out.
Just round it up right now. But here's my favorite stat. Touchdown to interception ratio. All right? You know who's at 15 touchdowns and 9 interceptions? By the way, who's second in interceptions in the National Football League right now? It's Jalen Hurts. Come on down. Come on down. But you know who has 23 touchdowns, which not only leads the NFC, but also is, I believe, tied for the league, one behind Tua in the NFL? It's Dak Prescott. Rain Dakota Prescott. First of his name. 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's the most in the NFC. I know he leads the NFC in that category. So can I get a tell me when I'm telling lies? Because I'm not telling lies, because I never tell lies. Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC currently. Hands down. Now, Jalen Hurts might be the best in the NFC at 1-yard touchdown runs. He definitely leads in that category behind the tush push. But he's not playing better quarterback play than Dak Prescott. They played head-to-head twice. First time they played in 2021, Dak Prescott outplayed him. And they won 41-21. The second time they played this year, Eagles pulled it out by 5. CeeDee Lamb got stopped at the 2-yard line. But Dak Prescott had over nearly 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. The Eagles have the best record in the NFC. They keep pulling out these games. They're showing a true mark of, they're showing championship mental. I give them that. But at the quarterback position, right now, currently, you cannot tell me that what you saw and what you've been seeing in the last month, I think Dak Prescott has something crazy like 16 touchdowns and 2 picks in the last 3 or 4 games. He's playing out of his mind. And again, this is what I was hoping for. We were talking about this weeks ago. When is Mike McCarthy going to start using Brandon Cooks? When's CeeDee Lamb going to take that next step as a top 5 receiver? When's the offensive line going to stop giving up pressures? When's Tony Pollard going to show up? Like, when is this offense going to really look like the offense that we all believed it would look like post-Kellen Less, as Jason and Enrique said? And it is finally here. Can I get a tell me when I'm telling lies? Because I'm not. Dak Prescott is on an MVP trajectory. I don't care what the clown shows tell you, but they are telling you lies as always, because there's nobody right now in the last month of the season that has been playing better or at a higher level or a more efficient level than Dak Prescott in QBR, in passer rating, in completion percentage, in passer rating, in yards per pass, whatever category you want to say. Dak is that guy, and he's the guy I've been waiting for. Can I get a Ric Flair whoop?
Yeah, and you know what? That's perfect because King Sensei 7 on the chat has been asking about yards per pass, QBR. You basically just had all the receipts right there. But you also have Deji who says Dak Prescott, Mr. Loser in December. All right, so can we get it? Can we get Deji to call in again, man? Because we need to get muy caliente, as you like to say.
Here's the thing with Deji. Listen, the Giants are on their 5th rebuild in the last 6 years. I don't listen. If he still thinks that Eli Manning's at quarterback, he's one of your favorite guys.
Oh, really?
The Giants. Wow. So no, the Giants. Listen, if this was 2007, if this was 2007, Deji he'd have something to stand on. If this was 2011, he'd have something to stand on. But the Giants are in rebuild mode yet again. They got Devito III at quarterback right now. They're not really in the conversation right now. So he's there to troll. That's fine and dandy. But again, it's all about. And one more round of applause for Deron Bland. The most pick sixes in a single season with 5, and he did it in 11 games, and he did it starting the season in the slot as a backup behind Trey Diggs. Right now, he's not just the best cornerback in the NFC. He's the best cornerback in football right now. Round of applause. Can I tell me when I'm telling lies? Because I'm not telling lies. He made history.
And by the way, I want you to go in the check-in and read what Carlos had to say because that's more stats for you that you can use.
Okay.
Yeah,
no problem.
Shout out to Carlos, man. I hope that hangover is cured right now, bro.
Bland has more TDs. Can you get another tell me when I'm telling lies? I love this. Bland has more TDs than Devontae, Hopkins, Devontae Smith, Waddle, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, OBJ, Higgins, the New England Patriots team, the Jets wide receivers, Calvin Ridley, Chris Olave, Drake London, Terry McLaurin, Amari Cooper. Oh my God, they keep going. Cooper Kupp, Kelsey. Deron Bland is out of his mind. Not again. Defensive Player of the Year. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Can we get a sheesh by any chance?
and quick round of applause. Jimmy Johnson he's going to be announced. He was just announced. He'll be in the Ring of Honor for the Dallas Cowboys finally. So round of applause for Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson putting their differences aside. A big reason. Now, there must be some curse of Joe Namath or something over you guys, but we've had a curse of Jimmy Johnson over us for going on in 3 decades now. 3 decades. We have not won a Super Bowl since Jimmy left. And I don't count the freaking one with Barry Switzer because that was Jimmy Johnson's roster, Jimmy Johnson's coaching staff. So post Jimmy Johnson, we have not won a championship.
That's almost like Joe Torre's taking over Buck Showalter's team to win the championships.
I'm just saying. Gotta call a spade a spade. So I really believe that the good juju and the good vibes, they're in Dallas finally. And we got a shot. But I'm not going to change my stance. As all the good feels and all the good vibes go, right now, currently sitting, Cowboys are still a playoff team. I don't consider us a Super Bowl contender quite yet because I got to see what we do against Seattle, a playoff team. Although the 49ers just ran a rough shot through them on Thanksgiving. I got to see what we do against the Lions, and I got to see what we do in the rematch against the Philadelphia E-Girls at AT&T Stadium. They got to go 3-0. If they don't go 3-0, mark my words, I will come on this show right here. I won't be wearing cowboy gear, and I will tell you to your face, bro. And if you're here, Mongo, 29 years and counting. They're not going. You got all 3 of those guys at AT&T Stadium. They've trailed for 0 minutes and 0 seconds. They have not trailed at AT&T Stadium for a single second this season. Dominance. If they get the 1 seed, and that's what we're still playing for. We're only 2 games behind the Eagles. We play them again. They got the 49ers in Buffalo back-to-back. If the Cowboys get the 1 seed, they've got a legitimate shot to get to Vegas, but they have to beat these big boys. They gotta beat. That's what Joe Benengo called them. Remember, you were there with me. The big boys. The big boys.
Unlimited.
They gotta beat these playoff teams, man. Because if they don't,
I'll forever love that drop.
Yeah, I will too. They gotta beat the big boys because if they don't, it's gonna be fool's gold. But they're doing what they're supposed to do. And shout once again, Mike McCarthy. This offense is cooking. Shout out to Brandon Cooks. Give me that arrow. Give me that arrow. Yeah.
862-621-9536 is the number to call in. King Sensei has a lot to say. He's the last thing he says is that's Brock. He leads the league in QBR and yards per pass. So I think he has something to say. Matter of fact, why don't you back up your argument and call in 862-621-9536.
Chitty, you can call in. You got the number. The number. But I'm gonna pass.
The lines are free. Call in, please.
Lines are open. But I'm gonna pass the rock to Mongo. Brock Purdy, the second coming of Joe Montana in my brother's eyes and a lot of 49ers fans' eyes. How do you tell us how you really feel? And can I get a tell me when I'm telling lies because Mongo's not telling lies?
I'll get to Brock in a minute. you wait your turn, Brock. But this will get us to Brock in a moment here. I want to get back to the Eagle Cowboy discussion here real quick.
Yes, Sirski.
What's working against you more than anything is that we have a recency bias problem on our hands here.
Yes, we do.
And forget the stats.
Just like with Giants, where they say, well, at least we won that Super Bowl. That was 12 years ago, bro.
Yeah, Eli got 2 Super Bowls. Go.
And the thing is, forget the stats for a minute. Just give me this one, and maybe you even disagree with me on this.
Okay.
And if that's the case, well,
that's fine.
We hit a dead end. But
that's fine.
So it's the fourth quarter. Your team is down 3. It's 4th and 13, and the play breaks down. Would you rather have Jalen Hurts or Prescott as your quarterback in that moment? You know nothing else about the other 10 guys on the field. You just know you're in that scenario.
Give me Dak. Give me Dak.
See, I would take Hurts,
you take Hurts,
and I feel like a lot of people would take Hurts. And the reason why is because he's just a little bit more creative when he's in the open field.
Okay.
He also has not proven, because he hasn't had a chance to have to prove yet. We've seen what Dak has done in those situations in the past couple of years. He's managed to bounce himself out of the playoffs in some very unique, fun ways.
True.
But the thing is, this is not the team that Dak had those last couple years, because with young tight ends who actually do their job and add that extra block and run those routes correctly, you're probably not going to be in that position. Or you have more outs. With a good running game, you probably don't find yourself in a 4th and long to begin with. You have a defense where for the first time in a while, if you're down 3 in the 4th, kick the field goal and you can actually trust them in overtime. I didn't trust the Cowboy defense to go into overtime in a playoff game the last couple years.
Agreed.
So, yes, Dak made Dak his way out of that situation again, but you've given him 52 guys around him who give him a much better chance of never being in that position again. So that argument that a lot of people have, that mental memory of Dak in the playoffs the last couple of years, is really an unfair shot that a lot of people take against Dak.
Agreed. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Can you get Dom DeMarco real quick?
Yeah, 862-621-9536 is the number to call.
To go off of that point, let's stay right there real quick before you get to your Brock Purdy love. This is why, and all jokes aside, this is why me and Mongo, as well as Michael Lombardi, were in lockstep. Back to your boy, Kellen Less, or Kellen Moore, whatever he wants to go off of.
No, he's definitely less.
Pace of play. I keep saying it on this show. I've said it on other shows before. Pace of play. And how are the Chargers looking right now? Again, when you're just calling plays, just listen, I'm just calling plays.
And when you have that quarterback in Justin Herbert, come on.
And when you've got Keenan Allen, and when you've got Austin Eckler, we can keep going. But we're not. This isn't about the Chargers. This is about Kellen Less versus Mike McCarthy. Again, let's not run the ball for 2 yards on first down. Let's pass on first down. The play calling, especially in the last 2 weeks, really from Chargers game on, what I've seen is Mike McCarthy's like, how can I make third down as easy as I can for my quarterback? And that's what good OCs do. That's what competent offensive coordinators. This is what Nathaniel Hackett does not do.
No.
That is the plan for every OC. Okay, it's the NFL. I'm going to get the third down. How can I make sure that I'm going to get to 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4 and stay away from 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 20? How? That is Mike McCarthy's sole purpose of running the plays right now. He's in his duffel. And on top of that, he's using his playmakers. Jalen Tolbert is actually good. Let's scheme up plays for him. Kellen Moore didn't use him. Kevontae Turpin, firecracker, one of the best, was a USFL freaking MVP, one of the best returners and dynamic. Everything Brandon Cooks can do, Turpin can do. Let's use him. Kellen Moore didn't use him.
Nope.
CeeDee Lamb is a top 5 receiver. Let's feature him. Kellen Moore didn't do that.
Nope.
Ferguson was on the team last year. I know Dalton Schultz was there, but Fergie was there on the team too. You know what? Ferguson looks like baby Kelsey, and I said that was going to happen because Mike McCarthy loves his tight ends. He loves to use the tight ends, especially athletic ones that can catch the ball. We're using him and Schoonmaker. It's not just about, is Pollard going to have a big game? Because if Pollard doesn't have a big game, Dak's going to struggle. No. When you come to play the Cowboys, you have to worry about the entire field. And I haven't mentioned Michael Gallup. I haven't mentioned Jalen Brooks, the other unsung guys. McCarthy is like, listen, you have to defend every blade of grass, and you have to stay out of 3rd and long. That's what's going to keep Dak out of 3rd and forever in a critical situation. And trust me, You ask that question a different way. Who would I take with 3rd and 5 with the game on the line? Give me Rain Dakota 10 times out of 10 because all these bad teams that are so bad, why are they pushing the Eagles to the limit every single week? They're pulling it out, but trust me, that's not a sustainable business model. Ask the Vikings how that worked out for them when they were pulling out games week in and week in and week in and week in. It's surviving championship mental when other teams do it, but it's the Cowboys playing down to their competition or playing over their competition when they beat up on bad teams. So again, the offensive coordinator is the difference maker in that discussion right there, and that's why I feel so much better about Mike McCarthy calling plays versus Kellen Moore. Now, can I get a tell me when I'm telling lies?
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Can I get the band is back together?
The band is back together.
And if you don't like it, one more time, Rick, take me home.
Whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it because it is the best thing going today.
Yes.
862-621-9536. And continue with your Brock point.
Now Brock Purdy. He's been waiting all day for this.
I'll take the real. We have a lot to do here, so I'll take the real easy out here, which is you have a Hall of Fame tight end, you have a Hall of Fame running back, you have basically a guy who can do everything that Tyreek Hill does. Honestly, if you took Brock Purdy off of this team and just let him direct snap to Christian McCaffrey, who then end around it to Deebo Samuel, you'd still be a top 15 offense.
Donald Marco. I'm just gonna hype man for you. Just go ahead. Go ahead. Keep talking.
You don't even need a quarterback on this team, and when you do choose to use one, he's throwing to a running back with the best hands in football, a wide receiver who is, again, basically Tyreek Hill, just with more of an injury history, which is why they don't use him as much as Tyreek, and the safest safety net ever in the form of George Kittle. Do something on a bad team before we even have a discussion about who you are as a quarterback. You're lucky enough that the last pick in the draft happened to be a good team that year, and that's all you have going for you. No one has been terribly. I mean, look at Jimmy Garoppolo, right? He's literally not even.
Tell me what I'm telling lies. Tell me what I'm telling lies.
No one has particularly looked bad on this team. It's a system, guys. If Brock Purdy ever goes anywhere else and does anything, I'll apologize to him. I'll be the first in line.
Come to the Jets and see what happens there.
This conversation that Brock Purdy is good because he just happens to be the 11th guy on an offense, the only team where the quarterback is the 11th most important person. He's not good. He's just in the right spot.
He's a better. I've told my brother this. He doesn't want to listen. He's drank the sauce, and I get it because his title drought is actually 1 year longer than mine. Either they've been to the Super Bowl more recently. Shout out to Deji in the chat. He's killing it. But again, I see Brock Purdy as a little bit better Jimmy Garoppolo. That's it. That's all. And I get it.
So he's Aiden O'Connell.
So yes, he's Aiden O'Connell, right? Again, I don't know how else to say this, and I'm not saying that he's bad. I don't think he's. Margo's saying it to the brink. He says that he's like he's really Cooper Rush in disguise, like the Scooby-Doo mask. Like the kids are about to take off. Like, and I would have got Brock Purdy's really Cooper Rush, and I would have got away with it if it weren't for you blasted kids. No. Love the music. No. Oh, we got a call.
Yeah, we got a call.
I hope this is Brock Purdy.
Boo this man!
Brock Purdy, you're better than that.
No, seriously, call in. No, seriously, I'm kidding. Call in again, 862-621-9536. I got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest.
Got to. No, I get it. They listen, Colin Kaepernick, before he started to slow down.
For a second, I thought you almost said Colin Cowherd.
No, the clown herd? Never.
Who could also QB on the
Who could also QB?
I'll just say it right now.
Another savage. No, listen, can I get Diamonds Are Forever? No. We got a call.
All right, we got a caller.
Who's calling in?
Who's calling in?
I'm on. Can you guys hear me?
That's my brother.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Purdy's #1 cheerleader. What's his name?
Kingsley Oyato.
Kingsley Oyato. What is going on?
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's go.
I thought that there was going to be an actual Brock Purdy fan up there. It seems like it seems like
You were but hoodwinked.
got my hopes up. You got my hopes up that you're gonna actually spit some facts. But it's all false. It's all false, all lies. All right. Let's make the demarcation of Brock Purdy versus Jimmy Garoppolo. The 49ers win despite Jimmy Garoppolo, and then 49ers win because of Brock Purdy.
Okay. Continue.
The huge disparity on Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. The offensive coordinator has to hide Jimmy Garoppolo behind plays and scheme, whereas Brock Purdy right now has the reins of the offense. He can throw anywhere he wants to on the field. Anywhere he wants to on the field. Where you have Jimmy Garoppolo, if he throws that pass late in the game to Ayuk, everybody knows that's an interception. Everybody knows that's an interception. And he will be reamed on the sidelines. He almost got benched his second to last year with the 49ers.
Yeah, I remember.
He almost got benched. He almost got benched in the Bears game.
Yeah, I remember.
And he got pulled to the side. And I don't know if I can curse on this.
No, you cannot.
No, you cannot. Please. This is a family show. This is a family show.
There are a lot of four-letter words thrown to his way. And Trey Lance was told to go warm up. So Trey Lance was told to go warm up. So to say that apples and apples with Jimmy and Purdy is that's false.
That's not. No, let me jump back. That's not what we're saying.
He's a Simpson quarterback.
We are saying that.
He's thriving. He's thriving
in the system
that he's been drafted in. And not everybody has the opportunity or even can do it.
Mongo,
yeah,
you before I come in.
Here's all I'll say on that, and obviously we're having some fun mainly at the expense of Jimmy Garoppolo here,
of course.
I don't want anyone to ever think I think anyone's as bad as Jimmy Garoppolo. I want to clarify that right now. But here's the thing, and this is exactly I think you're alluding to it, so I'm just going to kind of drive home the point here. Because it helps both of our points. Jimmy Garoppolo, early, day 2 pick, went to a major school, was Bill Belichick's, next in line, and he had every reason to be smug. And Trey Lance, first round pick, traded up for, had also every reason to be smug. When you're a system player, there is no room for smugness. You need to buy in and you need to give whatever is being asked of you because you are a system product. And so Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant, having that chip on his shoulder naturally coming in, I'm not surprised that he handles a system better. I think if you ask those 3 guys to each wash a car, I think Purdy would do the best. I think it has nothing to do with quarterback ability. I think it's 2 guys have an ego, 1 guy does not. And so where we would have a better say on this conversation, and obviously it's fun to just talk sports on a Saturday afternoon, but if Purdy gets that big payday, if he ever gets paid like a quarterback, who's to say he doesn't get fat like the other 2? Because the other 2 just rested on their laurels and they kicked him out of town. It didn't work out. And so as a San Francisco, fan, I'm not one, but if I was one, I'd be concerned that this has a shelf life to it because Purdy can certainly, get cocky or greedy the same way that the other 2 boys did.
And Chitty, what didn't help the conversation, especially with Nick Wright, one of our favorite people on the show, about the assistant quarterback. Big time, big clown energy there.
Purdy would shine that card, as he says.
is during your 3-game losing streak when Trent Williams was out and when Debo was out, when the Avengers weren't completely assembled, he struggled. He struggled, and really that is the only part of his conversation that I actually am lockstep with, and I mentioned on his show is the full gang was not all here. His left tackle's out, and he's missing one of his plentiful friggin' Avengers, and he looked, and again, he was turning the ball over. He was not looking as efficient. He wasn't, and again, you guys were behind, especially against the Vikings and the Bengals, and what did you see? You looked like a guy who was just trying to figure it out. didn't look as Joe Namath or Joe Montana-esque when in those situations when the full Avengers weren't there. That kind of goes to our part.
Can I throw a stat out real quick?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Because
we like stats. All right.
Yeah, we love stats on the
49ers, with Trent out over that 3-game stretch, the 49ers offensive line ranked 26 in the NFL. This is supposed to be a Super Bowl or bust in some people's categories.
S-Bob.
Or a playoff, or a deep playoff run team.
Yep.
With the 26th ranked offensive line. Out their best left tackle, which is
Trent Williams,
the best left tackle in the league. I don't think it's arguable. Anybody can argue that he is the best left tackle in the league.
Okay, I'm in on that. I'm with you.
Top two, not two.
So with all those factors in case, like, yeah, he's running for his life, most definitely. But the mistakes that he made were mistakes that he would make. But it's mistakes from a second-year quarterback who, at that time, hadn't even played a full season of 16 games. So yeah, Brock Purdy is not going to have a perfect passer rating every single game.
No,
he's not going to have a perfect night where he has no incompletions every single game.
No,
there's going to be lulls where things are not working right for you, and it came at a time where the first one is against the number 1 defense in the league, playing historically great, still playing historically great in the rain, brings them to within a chance to kick the field goal to win the game.
Yeah.
He gave them the opportunity that the resident Brock Purdy hater, Nick Wright, said he wanted to see. He said he wanted to see, can you come back in the fourth quarter and put them in a position to win? He did that. And the rookie kicker missed the field goal.
Yeah.
So the last 2 games after that, there were losses. And no team is undefeated in the league.
No.
Is all those losses on his shoulders? I beg to differ. You have the defense was trending in the wrong direction when it came to allowing runs per attempt, or rushing yards per attempt, pass interference calls galore. So things have changed in the right direction for them since the schematic changes have happened, and especially that acquisition late in the season. It's a breath of fresh air. But am I going to put those 3 losses on Purdy? Nah,
okay.
I can't do that.
That's fair. That's fair. All right.
Did he contribute? Yes, he contributed. Yes, but to call him the number 11 man on the roster or on the offense, that's a stretch.
I stand by.
Because, I stand by too.
Yep. There's been multiple people in those seats, and they haven't delivered like he has. And the one who has a comparable winning percentage was Jimmy Garoppolo. And we all know the comparison between him and Jimmy is night and day.
But we got to go. But thank you for the call soon, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Love you.
Thank you.
We'll argue this when I get home.
Real quick before we get to our next caller here, every Jet fan who's spoken today, other than me, is saying we got to go quarterback. We'll figure out the offensive tackle. And that's what you want from your quarterback, whether it's Rodgers next year or a top 10 quarterback in 2024. You guys are saying, that quarterback will be so good. Who cares what we have with our offensive line situation? And then he says, when we lost Trent Williams, the dude was running for his life. That's my point. I'm not saying, remember, these are 2 very different questions. Is Brock Purdy right for the 49ers?
Yes.
Is a very different question than, is it fair to have Purdy in the same conversation when you're looking at those stats and saying Purdy, Hurts, and Prescott are 1, 2, 3 in everything? I like Purdy for the Niners. I think they have a serious chance with Purdy as their quarterback.
Agreed.
I'm just saying that Purdy's being in the top 3 is not earned in the same way that Hurts or Prescott's being in the top 3 is.
Agreed.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here is what I'm saying.
That's exactly where me and Mongo are coming from, and we'll transition from there. Is again, I'm not saying he's gotta get a couple trashes. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying he's trash. But what I am saying is he is more a product of the system and more a product of the Avengers than anybody in the league right now. Am I going to hold that against him? No, because they're winning. They all get Super Bowl rings. They all get to hold the trophy if and when that happens. But to say that he is on the same just pure ability and same level of quarterbacking as Dak or as Hurts or whatnot, or as Lamar, who we haven't even mentioned, no. And again, the Ravens play the 49ers. You know what I mean? The 49ers play the Eagles. The Eagles play the Bills. I love what the schedule makers did because we're going to see very, very, very soon, now that the real football starts, post-Thanksgiving, what these teams are going to really look like. Because you're really playing you're going to play a couple tomato cans down the stretch, but you're playing a lot of playoff football this last month. And you're going to see, we're going to see, these seedings are going to take care of themselves. And I can't wait. Can't wait for that. I can't wait. I'm excited for that.
Right. 862-621-9536 is the number to call in. So let's segue into our picks going in for this week. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
all right. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we already know what happened with the Dolphins and the Jets. The 49ers Seahawks is over. We definitely know what happened with the Cowboys and the Commanders.
Oh,
and,
what a disaster.
And what a shocker from Packers at Lions. I was not expecting that. You know, again, with my picks, I'm being horrendous this year. But you know what? You know what? We got to keep the train moving. And like Don LaGreca says, I do it all over again. True. So the remaining games that we have right now, 1 o'clock game, we have the Buccaneers at the Indianapolis Colts. Well, that is a 1 o'clock game if I ever saw one.
That is 1 o'clock right now. Give me Gardner and Minshew. They're at home. Give me the home team. Give me the Mr. Mustache. Baker's trash. Can I get some trashes, man?
Yeah.
Baker's, come on, man. Like you're not.
Nobody wants that Baker's dozen.
You're not doing progressive commercials for a reason, bro. Give me Mr. Mustache at home.
Mongo?
Yeah, I honestly would take the home team on either side of this one.
Agreed.
So I'll go the Colts. I think this one's way closer than people think it is, but I think the home field's going to matter.
I wouldn't be surprised if this game was won by a safety. I'm going to go Colts here.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, should we do scores or just picks?
No, we just go picks.
Let's go picks. All right, next one we have the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Houston Texans at Texas.
Texans are rolling, man. They're rolling. I mean, the Jags kind of righted themselves, but again, it was against the Titans and Will Levis, our favorite quarterback, last week.
Will Levis?
Yeah. The Texans beat them earlier in Jacksonville. I mean, I just love what DeMeco Ryans is doing. He's building a winning culture there for the first time in forever. You know, again, even with Bill O'Brien, when they were going to the playoffs, it wasn't a consistent winning culture.
And with Watson,
it was basically Watson and Hopkins are bust every year. That's how they were winning.
Yeah.
So
Hopkins, Watson's, and a massage parlor
as well. That's savage. That's savage.
Right keep on saying until the cows come home.
Give me the Texans. Give me the Texans.
If the Jags right now are 4-0 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
If they win this game, after this, their remaining road schedule is at Cleveland with a backup, at Tampa, which is barely a road game, and then at Tennessee the last week of the year that will probably be Tennessee actively trying to lose that game. I refuse to imagine a world where Jacksonville goes undefeated on the road this year, and they're not losing after this one. So I have to take Houston because I refuse to imagine that world. So give me the Texans.
Yeah. By the way, the fact that you knew that off of brain and not even have to look at no notes or anything, let's get it down to Marco for you personally. Right there.
Thank you.
That's to tell me what I'm telling lies.
Yeah.
That's right there.
That's why Mongo is who he is, and I appreciate it very much. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Texans also. I mean, Jacksonville is rolling, but I feel like C.J. Stroud has found his groove. I think DeMeco Ryans is creating a culture down in Texans that they can be really proud of. And I think they're going to continue riding this train until I think otherwise. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Texans this one at home as well. And then next we got the horrible Carolina Kittens, a.k.a. Panthers, at the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Another 1 o'clock game.
Will Levis is about to look like he did at Kentucky for a couple games. Wasn't a majority there either. So, yeah, give me – because the Panthers – I'd say tanking for Tua, but Tua's in the league. They're tanking for somebody. But then again, they don't have a first-round pick. It belongs to the Bears.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
that's a lose-lose situation Carolina is right now.
They're in a tough spot. And Frank Reich, the divorce papers are being drawn up.
Oh, wow.
They're being drawn up as we speak.
Savage.
They will be served very shortly. Give me Will Levis.
First, you gave a shout-out to the schedule makers a little while ago. I don't know how they managed to get Bryce Young to have to take the entire rookie tour. Obviously, it didn't work with Anthony Richardson being out the game, but he got the entire gauntlet, which is just fun to watch. I've been burned by this a couple times, and I'm going to get burned by it again here. When Carolina plays another team that's equally as bad, that actually has their first round pick, you would think Carolina would win because they literally have no incentive to lose, whereas Tennessee has incentive to just go 3-14 at this point. And so I've picked Carolina every time they play another bad team. I've been burned every single time, and I'm going to do it again. give me Carolina.
Wow, as Donald Greg would say, I would do it all over again.
That's the Donald Greg
This is that theme. This is that meme of freaking Michael Scott from The Office. Like, I'm ready to be hurt again.
I love that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to go with Will Levis on this one. I have no confidence in Carolina this season. They are. I don't know why they're tanking, because they're not going to get the first overall pick, but I just
belongs to the Bears.
Yeah, it belongs to the Bears. I just think that Frank Reich, just get that alimony money ready, bro, because it's coming. Absolutely. So yeah, give me the Titans on this one.
He just freshened up his LinkedIn profile, so he's ready to go. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, he's also got a Plenty of Fish account as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. All right. So next we have the New England Patriots against the New York Giants at that air conditioning unit in East Rutherford called MetLife Stadium.
I gotta. That's savage. There's always a savage with that. It's gonna be a tie. I got a tie. This is. You got.
What do you mean?
You got Danny DeVito the fourth versus. Can you Dobbins remember that, please? Actually, give me 2 Scott Halls for that. Give me 2 Scott Halls for that.
Survey says one more for the good guy.
You got Danny DeVito the 7th versus Zappy. I think it's Zappy time.
Oh, wow.
Bill doesn't want to say it because he wants to be all mysterious. You know what I mean? But
we're all just
Zappy's going to start. Yeah, America runs on Duncan, and it's definitely not this game. So give me a tie. This is going to be a lot of bad football. I'm not going to listen. Fox is going to try to force me to watch this against my will, and no means no. I'm not doing it. I don't care if this is the only game. I will stream something on my phone and edit. I'm not watching this foolishness. This is going to be NSFW football. Are you guys ready for that? Who's ready for some football? Are you ready for that?
How about no?
Born ready. This is the one I dream of. This is the one you just have 12 beers sitting curbside for.
Give me a tie. And God bless whoever's going to sit through this.
I hope they serve beer in hell. 862-621-9536 is the number to call in.
Mongo, who you got?
So, traditionally, Belichick figures out rookie quarterbacks.
Correct.
The problem is, if you told me right now DeVito's been in the league for the last 14 years, I'd have to believe you. I have no idea who this guy actually is, so I don't know why any logic would apply to this dude. I think Barkley somehow manages to run for, catch, and throw a touchdown in this game. Each team gets a safety, and this ends 23-2 Giants, is my prediction.
The Commanders just made him look like freaking Joe Montana last week.
I'm not looking forward to this game. This is the equivalent to putting lipstick on a pig. I'm going to say the Patriots, though, because I think that their offense can score. They cannot score at all, but Bill Belichick has a history of making quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks, look like they don't belong in the league. Danny DeVito already doesn't look like he belongs in the league, minus that last game. I'm sorry. There's not going to be any of this coming season right now.
Listen. Tommy Touchdowns, whatever his nickname is, he helped get Jack Del Rio and the defensive backs coach fired, along with Dak Prescott. He's rolling. So it's still gonna be a tie.
But either way, I'm gonna go the Patriots. I'm gonna go 10-6.
That's probably the most reasonable guess.
I think that Saquon Barkley will score a touchdown, and then they're going to miss the extra kick. But also, an exclusive here, we got Deji who says Giants-Patriots, it'll be 10-14 Giants. Yeah, all right. The two defenses are going to set records on Sunday. Yeah, all right. That's cool. Next game, we have the New Orleans Saints against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta.
Give me... Golly, this is NSFW quarterback play too, man.
These are the days where I wish I could curse on the air.
Again, listen, the winner of the NFC South is playing in this game, and one of these two teams is going to host the Cowboys or host the Eagles. Just let that sink in real quick, boys. All right, let's strap on in. The Falcons are at home, and I would root for another tie. Dear God, I don't know who to pick here. Let's go. Let's go Saints. Saints by 3, because I don't trust. Who's their quarterback? Is it still the Muffler Man? Still Heineke?
Now it's sweet Desmond Ritter making his
Desmond
comeback.
Ritter's coming back.
Sweet Desmond Ritter
give
making
me
his
the
comeback.
Give me the Saints then. Give me the Saints and the points.
The Saints and the points. All right, I love it.
Yes.
Mongo.
We had this conversation last time I was on the show. I said I'm
We
taking,
did, yes,
I'm
we
taking
did.
the
Yes, we did.
Falcons.
We did.
You said why? I said I always take the Falcons. You said why? And I said because it works half the time, all the time. I will continue to take the Falcons 17 times and be right 8 or 9 times this year.
Give me some Yahtzees right there.
Always give me the
That's
Falcons.
some Yahtzees right there.
Yahtzee. Safest coin flip you can make.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Saints here over the Falcons. I just don't trust Desmond Ritter. And Derek Carr, even though he's not an elite quarterback, he's definitely better than Ritter. So I'm going to go with that one. And I'm going to go with coaching. So, all right, next game we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Joe Burrow-less Bengals.
Give me the Steelers. They just fired their offensive coordinator.
Yes, they did.
That was a long time coming. Kenny Two Gloves, I think he has 2 touchdown passes on the season, something like that, something ridiculous like that. But again, as soon as Burrow went down, it was draft time for the Bengals. They'll play with some spirit because they're at home. But Mike Tomlin knows that this team, the Steelers, they're going to be a playoff team if led by their defense, of course.
I don't think whoever's playing quarterback for the Bengals is going to survive T.J. Watt either.
Yeah, Watt and Highsmith, they're still healthy. They're still as long as they're healthy every week.
Is Fitzpatrick's healthy or is he out?
I think I got to check. He's 50-50. I know he was down last week, but that just continues that go to my argument. But I'm going Steelers, and I'm taking the points too.
Yep. I'm going to go with the Steelers as well. Mike Tomlin all day.
Yeah, I'm with it. But I do want to say, Steeler fans, Steve over at I-80, if you're listening, I know you were going to tune in today. Shout out, Steve. Please don't have a week this week. You guys are going to look good against Cincinnati. This offense is still broken. It doesn't matter that there's a new person. Kenny Pickens is a lunatic. Kenny Pickett is just George Pickens is a lunatic. Kenny Pickett is just not that good. You have 2 guys co-running the ship, which is never good. And Deontay Johnson just doesn't look fully healthy yet. I'm sorry. He's back, but he needs the offseason.
Slim Pickens, if I ever heard one.
True.
Yeah.
True.
All right, next we have the Cleveland Browns against the Denver Broncos in Mile High.
Broncos are hot. They work things out.
I think they found their groove.
Yeah, they work things out in therapy. It looks like the marriage is salvageable. They're both sleeping. Again, they're sleeping they're not sleeping in separate rooms anymore. They're working things out. Ayana, come fix my life. She came and fixed that marriage. So, listen, Broncos I expect the Broncos to stay hot. If this was in Cleveland, I would take the Browns and the points. They're missing a quarterback. They should have never got rid of Jacoby Brissett.
Probably not.
The Browns shouldn't for this reason alone, because Brissett could win a game like this on the road. But
absolutely.
Give me the Broncos right now. I love the way they're playing. They're playing well at home. It's going to be an NSFW quarterback play for sure. Once again, a lot of that going around. But Broncos are at home and their defense is humming. That 70-point game might have been the best thing that ever happened to them, believe it or not. But yeah, give me the Broncos and the points.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go the Broncos as well. Eventually, this has to catch up to the Browns to lose your entire backfield battery. That's got to catch up to you eventually. Give me the Broncos.
Yeah. Now I do like that the Broncos have found their groove and they're starting to find themselves now. But I don't know if it's going to be sustainable. However, I think that this will be. One more game, and then afterwards they're going to probably come back to earth the next week. So, but yeah, I just think that as much as that Browns defense scares me, I just don't trust the offense and the quarterback play. And I think that Sean Payne has the ability to run circles around Kevin Stefanski's coaching abilities. Yep. So yeah, and also it's playing at Mile High. So I don't know if that, the air quality is going to affect the Cleveland Browns at all.
It always does.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Broncos on this one. Next, it's a 4:00 game, but it should have been a 1:00 game.
Oh, it's a 1:00 game.
Yeah.
It's a Sands 1:00 game for sure.
Yep. This is the Los Angeles Rams against the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, I was hoping that was going to get better on the second one. It didn't.
That's what she said.
That's a savage. See what you did there. Hi-oh.
Parkour.
Kyler Murray is back, which isn't a lot going on there.
And then you got Mike LaFleur on the other side.
Yeah, Matt Stafford still isn't healthy.
No.
So that's an added caveat. I have Cooper Kupp in fantasy, and that's all that I really care about this game. So I'll have it on in the background while I'm editing. But Cardinals are at home, but Kyler doesn't really play well, in these type of games when his team's 2-9. So give me the Rams. Give me the Rams by 3.
this will be my tie. How about that? If you're allowed one, I'm allowed one.
Everyone's allowed a tie.
You get a tie. You get a tie. Everybody got a tie.
This thing will end 17-all.
Is this what you want?
Can I get another Scott Hall, though? I need another Scott Hall. Just for this game.
That's right.
One more for the good guy.
I think Rams are going to take it over the fact that they have Aaron Donald on their team, and I don't know who the Cardinals have to salvage this season. So
yeah, and Josh Dobbs doesn't play for them anymore.
No, he does not. No. All right, the next game we have the Buffalo Bills at the Philadelphia Eagles.
You mean the Philadelphia E-Girls? All right. I gotta say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest.
All right.
Anyway, give me Josh Allen. I'm gonna pick against them for the rest of the season. I just want to let you know that, so you know that ahead of time, so it's not a surprise. Like, why do you keep picking against the Eagles? Because that's why. But yeah, listen, the luck's gonna run out eventually. The point I made earlier. This reminds me of two teams. The Eagles right now remind me of two teams. They remind me of the Steelers when they were 13-0 a couple years ago. You guys know how that ended? Against the.
You send me this,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they remind me of the Vikings last year. They keep pulling out these games. Late, playing down to their competition. But they're just figuring it out, because they're winners. They're winners. And it catches up to you eventually because you can't win like that every single week in the NFL. Plus, I think Josh Allen kind of found something against you guys last week, and he's still going to throw an interception in this game. Let's just get that out the way. Like, I expect a turnover or two, but if this turns into a shootout, I just see Allen. If it comes down to the quarterback play, if Allen doesn't turn the ball over, I kind of like the Buffalo Bills here in this game. And I think it's going to be a close one. Like every Eagle game is going to be this year, but I like the Bills late by 3. I know the Eagles are favored by 3, but I like the Bills late by 3.
Right.
To be clear, the only thing you can find when you play the Jets is Jesus. I just want to specify that real quick.
That's savage.
I agree with you that I don't think it's sustainable, but Buffalo has found some very unique ways to blow some leads in some games.
Also true.
None bigger than that wild opening game against the Jets. So if it's going to come back to earth, it's not going to happen here. Eagles are at home, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, give me that on top of everything else. We know they love their home cooking, and that crowd is nuts behind them. Give me the Eagles in this one.
And the home officiating, don't forget that too.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to say it, but
here we are.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. Is that the drop?
Yeah, that's a tell me when I'm telling lies.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
There you go. Honestly, the Eagles have been phenomenal this season. I mean, their records is what they are, but I think that the Bills have actually found their groove now, especially since they let go of Ken Dorsey.
Yep.
I think Josh Allen is actually in a better place, especially after they got revenge on the Jets. They got they got a little bit of extra time to recuperate on their injuries and so on and so forth. They got a bit of time to figure out Joe Brady's offensive schemes. I think that he's actually going to do good things for them going forward, but I don't think they're necessarily a Super Bowl contender just yet, just with the talent. But I think they still need to follow, figure some things out. And I don't really trust McDermott. Usually, I would say Sirianni over McDermott here, but I just feel like the Buffalo Bills are just energized recently, especially the last things that have transpired. And the luck's going to run it out for the Eagles, sooner than later. So it's not always sustainable, especially in this kind of NFL that we live in with 17 games or 18 games at that.
And that secondary, sorry to jump in real quick, but that secondary, they're 29th in the league. Name me a quarterback that hasn't thrown for a party against that secondary, and I don't know who is going to cover Stephon Diggs.
That's true.
Slay's not going to cover him.
No.
Bradbury's not going to cover him. Who's going to cover Stephon Diggs?
Right.
So that's the
But it could be a shootout because I don't know anybody too much on the on anybody on the Bills that's going to shut down AJ Brown.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's why I said it'd be close, and I expect for Buffalo to pull it out close.
Right.
So, but go ahead.
Yeah. I just think that the Bills are on something right now. I think they're rejuvenated with Joe Brady as their offensive coordinator. So yeah, give me the Bills in this one, and Eagles are going to come down to earth on this week. All right. Next one we got Kansas City Chiefs at Las Vegas.
Give me the Chiefs. They understand that they want that 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I said it in weeks past. I stand by it. They need the 1 seed now, like oxygen, freaking water right now.
Mm-hmm.
If the Chiefs don't get the 1 seed, they very
just
well
like
could.
the water that me and Mongo were deprived today.
Exactly. That's a savage.
Bring a can opener next. If you're going to bring food for the class, at least bring a can opener.
I'm sorry.
That's a preliminary clown of the week nominee. You brought a can of food and no can opener.
Sorry.
Savage for that one.
Savage for that.
And a Don DeMarco for Mongo.
Taking him up today.
It's the thirst. The thirst is driving into this. This is why he's choosing violence today against everybody. But no, the Chiefs know that they need the 1 seed, and if they drop, probably they're 2 losses away from no chance. No chance. They could probably drop 1 more and still get it. But they drop 2 more games. They get the 12-5 is not going to get the 1 seed. In the AFC, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It might, but I don't think so. So must win for the Chiefs. They're going to get it.
Right. And I also believe that, again, in this one, it's all about coaching. I don't know how good Antonio Pierce is going to be a good head coach in the league going forward, but Andy Reid has the resume, and I think Steve Spagnuolo knows Antonio Pierce from the time with the Giants. Yep. And I think that they want this more. And come on, Patrick Mahomes against Aiden O'Connell. Come on, give me the Chiefs in this one. Easy bet. And take the points as well. Next one, we have the Ravens at the Chargers, Kellen Less's team.
Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. Listen, those divorce papers are DHL has them. They have not been delivered yet. They will be served.
Couldn't even get UPS.
No, DHL. It's a West Coast thing. You tell me when I'm telling lies real quick.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Listen, the Chargers. And it's, I feel for Khalil Mack. I feel for Bosa, who's hurt, by the way. And I really feel for Keenan Allen. He's one of my favorite players in the league. And he's on your
fantasy?
No, I had him last year. He helped me win a championship last year.
There you go.
And I picked Deebo Samuel over him. Like I deserve a loss. That's an L for me on that. but no. Give me the Ravens. Staley's on his way out.
Yeah,
it'd be funny if Kellen Moore is like named interim head coach.
Yeah. Give me goosebumps.
That's a pipe bomb. That's a pipe bomb. But yeah, give me the Ravens and the points.
Yeah, when Brandon Staley is my spoiler, he's my runner-up clown of the week this week. When he blew up on that media guy for simply asking what's going on with the defense, this team has fallen off the rails. They're in serious trouble, and Staley's got to go. The Ravens are clearly the better organized team right now. It's not terribly close. Give me the Ravens. This one could be ugly.
Agreed.
Ravens, and we shouldn't be subjected to this. Also, like, we shouldn't be subjected to this Monday nighter. The Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, they got flex out of that one. I'm gonna throw a challenge. I'm gonna throw a challenge flag and flex that one.
I was gonna say, how is that not flex?
I have no idea. But yeah, that's flex city right there. Give me Josh Dobbs. Give me the fighting Josh Dobbses. The Bears want Caleb Williams. They want him bad. They'd draft him now if they could.
Yeah.
That's where we're at with it.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Give me the security that is Josh Dobbs. He is the safest part of this game somehow, and I will take him. Give me the Vikings as well.
Agreed.
Vikings. Enough said. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our pick segment, and now everybody's favorite segment coming up, and we all know what it is. Cue the music, Marv. Little Playboy Cardi there. I see.
Playboy.
Alrighty,
yes, sir.
So here we go. Mongo, since you are our guest, take it away with your clown of the week.
Thank you. So if this was last week, my clown would have been Draymond Green. And the more I have thought about this, I'm actually going to go clown adjacent to Draymond here, and I'm going to make the entire NBA my clown of the week here, because
the in-game tournament.
What was that?
The in-game tournament.
I would love for it to be the in-game tournament, but it's still related to Draymond. And here's the thing, and I don't want to go too off the rails with this or let it get too serious, but Draymond gets 5 games, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's the Draymond tax. If he wasn't Draymond Green, he wouldn't get 5 games." But we need to talk about Ja Morant getting 25 games for conduct detrimental to understand how nonsensical this Draymond 5-game suspension is. Conduct detrimental. If Draymond doesn't get involved in this scuffle, Klay doesn't get thrown out of that game.
Correct.
And in a world where they have no healthy bodies, that's the definition of conduct detrimental. And the biggest problem with the Ja Morant thing, now I'm not endorsing guns in any way, that's not where I'm going with this, but the biggest problem with Ja, even more than the gun, was that he genuinely seemed to have no idea what was wrong with what he was doing. Mm-hmm. When you look back at that fight from last week, don't look at who does what. Don't look at Rudy Gobert coming in first, which, by the way, he gets my special Pagliacci European Clown of the Week for a different conversation.
That's savage right there. That's savage right there.
But just look at Draymond's face And he is so a man possessed at that point.
Yeah.
And he has, you want to talk about having violence on, waking up and choosing violence.
Yeah.
He's ready to kill this man. And honestly, this is bigger than anything. He should be out for a long time while he gets sent to therapy.
Agreed.
Because he is not safe on the court right now. And the fact that they gave him 5 games is not a Draymond punishment. That's a reflection. They're well aware that he is a ticket seller.
Yeah.
Golden State has been their top seller for almost a decade,
Yeah.
and they need him on the court. And this is not a Draymond punishment. This is a Draymond reduction.
Yeah.
And, they know when you look at guys like Lamar Odom being loved on Celebrity Big Brother and things like that, once he retires, he's not going to be a bad boy anymore. He's going to be an icon. And so they need to milk him for all they're worth. And so this is just a straight greed move along with the, we know from the in-season tournament, the NBA is greedy as anything nowadays. And them getting Draymond back on the court is dangerous to the rest of the league, but they don't care. And shame on you, NBA, because somebody is going to get hurt if you keep trudging him out there every time.
Oh, man. Give me a Dom DeMarco, man. Dom DeMarco.
And a Don Lemon for the NBA.
Yes.
Don Lemon.
Oh, man. That's my favorite. I love it. This Clown of the Week is brought to you once again by Ocean Spray, Starbucks, First Class Second Place, Ugo Boy Podcast, and Bravery Studios, of course.
Boy.
Yes, indeed.
So, oh my God, man, this Clown of the Week, this freaking bozo of the week. Listen, I've referred to First Things First a few times, and why not? Let's just keep it going with that same energy. Oh man, it's Chris Broussard, come on down.
Oh.
Chris Broussard, come on down. You want to now? Here's the irony, because like a lot of members of media, he's a closet Dallas Cowboy fan. He's admitted that. Just like Stephen A. Smith.
Yes, I'm just gonna say that.
Just like Stephen A. Smith, the Clown Hall of Famer. Just like
shaking hands with Jerry Jones.
Just like Skip Bayless, Hall of Famer, Clown Hall of Famer. Chris Broussard. So this is what cracks me up about these hot take guys, these bozos. So during this whole streak of Cowboy victories over really the last month against quote unquote lesser teams, Chris Broussard he referred to them as tomato cans. So what did he do? He brought actual canned tomatoes on set with the labels of the actual teams the Cowboys played, and he put the Carolina Panthers as like the king-size tomato cans, like the ones you get at Costco, like the tomato cans and tomato cans. Now, the comedy and the hypocrisy about this whole argument that Dallas doesn't play anybody is they are waiting in the wings. Can you imagine if Dallas would have dropped one of these games to the Panthers or the Commanders or Commanders or insert bad team? If Dallas is damned if they do and damned if they don't. If they beat these teams convincingly, they just beat up on bad teams. If they win barely, they're playing down to their competition. If they lose to them, same old Cowboys. There's no winning. There's no winning. The goalposts have been disassembled like a Lego set. They've been moved out of the stadium to a storage unit in Siberia, and that's where the goalposts are for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. And it's led by the clowns, by the bozos, by the Ringling brothers and Barnum and Bailey's of hot takes, guys like Chris Broussard. Come on down. You're a clown. You're always gonna be a clown. Take this red nose. Take this red shoes. Take the green hair. Well, congratulations. You clowned yourself.
I really don't like that guy.
Nah. Shout out to 50 Cent. Hey, tell me when I'm telling lies.
All right.
Tell me when I'm telling
All right.
lies.
So my Clown of the Week.
Wait. He's been waiting all week for a Clown of the Week.
I don't know about all that once I tell you. So when it comes to this woebegone franchise called the New York Jets, a team that doesn't have their own stadium, a team that hasn't had a franchise quarterback in God knows how long, a team that hasn't had a Super Bowl win since 1969, and is always going to look at as a little brother, as of all of the NFL and also especially New York. I feel bad for every single person that is a Jet fan, but at the same time, it is all our own fault. It is all our own doing, because this is the life that we chose to do, and the team we chose to be with forever. So, with that being said, there's a reason why I'm wearing green colored glasses, and there's a reason why I'm wearing this colored sweater right now, because it goes right along the lines with a certain great Batman character called the Joker. And who loves Batman and has 2 thumbs? This guy. Call me, ladies and gentlemen, the Clown of the Week. I am officially throwing my hat in. I can't fathom it. I am a clown. Why do I root for this team? Why do I do this to myself? I have no choice, and I'm sorry, but it has to be done.
Oh, he found himself. Round of applause.
I don't deserve this.
Give me a Scott Hall. Give me a Scott Hall. Give me a Scott Hall.
Survey says one more for the good guy.
I can't even hear anything right now. I'm dejected as a fan.
All right,
oh my God.
Oh no, he's
back for more. Look at you, Jet fan.
That
He's
wasn't
back
enough.
for more.
This is what you've done to me, Woody Johnson. This is what you've done to me. Can I get a John Tortorella even though I can't hear it?
You suck.
He played it. He played it.
Suck.
All right, let's get a.
Please take it home.
I'll take let's get the hero of the week, and then we'll take it on home. Can I get some chariots of fire real quick? The hero of the week. The hero of the week. The hero of the week. So Mongo, you first. Who is your hero of the week?
Okay, so apparently there are no rules this week, so I can get away with what I'm about to do. My hero of the week requires me to have a secondary clown of the week here. So Yahoo Sports, at the beginning of the college basketball season, posted this big article about 68 predictions for men's basketball, and then in a very tiny blurb had 5 things about women's basketball. And then when you opened the men's one, about halfway down, it flat out said, the women's are more interesting this year. They literally said, like, you moron, this was clearly a money scam. Like, you fell for it. So shame on you, Yahoo. But my hero here is Mike Wilbon and the whole gang over at PTI, but particularly Wilbon because they have done what most groups won't, which is say, forget about what's popular, forget about money, and have done a really good job of paying attention to the women's scene early on in college basketball this year. Mike Wilbon gets it specifically for me because he's made it very, very clear that the women are the exciting part this year, and in no short terms. And so shout out to PDI in general for programming correctly, but Mike Wilbon for really recognizing a rare opportunity for the women's side of things to have the advantage this year and really do a good job of publicizing that. Nicely done, ESPN.
Yes, round of applause for Mike Wilbon. My hero of the week, real quick. I mentioned it earlier, I'll mention it again. Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones / Jimmy Johnson, but they can share it because they're besties. Again, this man, Jimmy Johnson, is a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's in already. In the Miami Dolphins Ring of Honor, the Miami Hurricanes Ring of Honor, in college football, and for too long, over nearly 3 decades, this man has been left out of the Ring of Honor for the Dallas Cowboys. This man is the architect of the dynasty, which is why I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan to begin with. And finally, this man is going into the Ring of Honor on December 30th when the Cowboys play the Lions. And I really believe it. And I'm not alone. Cowboy Nation as a whole, we believe that has been the curse behind 2007 with the Giants and a lot of Cowboy failures in the playoffs. Jimmy Johnson's going into the Ring of Honor. Thank God. He deserves it. Round of applause for both Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones. Finally.
My hero of the weeks are Mongo and Ugo for putting up with my nonsense.
We made it.
You guys are on a mission from God. Those are my hero for the week. So
Sports Talk Live is coming back at you pretty soon. Yahtzee, big Yahtzee. So,
all right.
I'll wrap it up.
You'll wrap it up, yeah. I'm too dejected.
This man needs a towel and he needs therapy. Mongo's got a beard. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got Marv the Drop God. Thank you so much for holding us down. We'll be back with brand new episodes of First Class Second Place Podcast, of the Ugo Boy Podcast, but most importantly, new episodes next week. See you same bat time, same bat channel. Yo, BTV Sports, we are out.
You play to win the game.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say who's on the beat, because you should know that by now. Check it. Hey, yo, music's on my mind, like my 59, 50, I ain't lying. Check it, yo.